Welcome back. Let's bring out Nu Skin's Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Joseph Chang.
Hi, Dr. Chang, how are you?
How are you?
Doing great.
You do look 43, do you?
Well, you know, it's makeup.
You look good.
Thanks, Joe.
Joe, have a seat, please.
Thank you.
The rock star is in the house. So, Joe, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say you're feeling this morning?
Well, after the Gangnam Style, I think I'm feeling great. Maybe 9 or 10.
Joe, don't take the bait. She already told us she's at 11 or 12 this morning.
Well, of course I am. As we all should be. What we have to talk about today is transformational.
It is, I totally agree. So, let's get started. Joe, there are a lot of people talking about the latest exercise craze or diet plan, miracle weight loss ingredient. You can't turn on the television, pick up a magazine, look at Facebook without hearing about the latest fad. So, as a scientist, what do you think about all of this?
Well, actually, some of it actually makes me laugh, quite frankly. But I think much of the noise surrounding weight management is really frustrating. It's easy to look for the quick fix. But what we really need to understand is the underlying factors of weight management and body shaping and not fall into the myths. You've talked about one earlier, actually, and that's the misconception that the only measure of success is the number on the scale. That is a myth that has somehow become so pervasive throughout the world. But it's not the only one. It's somewhat disappointing to me as a scientist because I believe with the right information, we can truly have a positive impact on achieving a healthy weight and a sexy body like mine.
He does have a great body, doesn't he?
Thank you.
Okay, you do, but in all seriousness. In your book, The Aging Myth, you pointed out some of the myths around how we age. And the key takeaway for me in that book was the fact that we actually can take control.
That's exactly right, Elizabeth, because the same concept applies for body shaping and weight management. As you pointed out, this is an area that people really struggle with. It affects not just their physical health, but their emotional well-being too.
So what you're saying is that you think too many people are buying into the weight loss myths, and the results seem actually counterproductive as more and more people are struggling with their weight and body image.
That's right, Kevin. Because as I have considered the myths associated with weight management, there are 3 that seem to stand out for me. First, the misconception that all weight loss is equal. Essentially, it doesn't matter what's being lost so long as it is weight loss. The second myth, there seems to be a widespread belief that we cannot control our body composition. If a parent or grandparent struggle with weight, many of us believe they're doomed to struggle as well. And the third myth, and perhaps the most pervasive and disturbing of all weight management myths, is that there is one ingredient, one magic bullet, if you will, that will make all our weight-related issues or body image problems just melt away.
Yeah, I think you've really hit the nail on the head with your assessment, Joe. I've definitely noticed that there's a tendency for people to believe all of these myths that you just talked about.
Well, in our research efforts at Nu Skin, Kevin, we don't really rely on popular beliefs. Instead, we rely on solid science, replacing all these myths with facts.
Okay, Joe, so let's take a few minutes for you to walk us through these myths and tell us what Nu Skin scientists have found.
Sure, I'll be happy to. So, first, in many diet fads, people believe that all weight loss is good, and that the number on the scale is the ultimate indication of success. However, science tells us that all weight loss is not created equal. the number on the scale does not really differentiate the kind of weight that was being lost. The goal, the actual goal, is to lose fat and support and maintain lean muscle in the process.
Oh, okay. So if the scale is not a good measure, then what about BMI? Can that help?
Well, while BMI, or body mass index, is a common measurement to describe whether or not a person is lean, overweight, or obese, we believe, however, it is an absolutely flawed measurement for body composition because it takes only into account the height and body weight. So it does not give us any indication of how much of that body weight is made up of fat. For example, fat tissue occupies far more space than muscle, yet it weighs less. But when we use the term body composition, it describes the percentage of fat, bone, and muscle. That's important.
So are you saying I could hit my target weight but still be fat?
Yeah, that's right. Because the goal of healthy weight management and body shaping is to reduce the fat and better support lean muscle through good nutrition.
All right, so I'm kind of having a difficult time imagining this in my head. What does it look like in real life? I've seen people who've tried different programs. They've seemed to lose weight and they seem to look better. I mean, at least they look thinner to me.
Well, let's take a look at this picture then, that demonstrates the importance of body composition. That's not Kevin, by the way. Both these people are 6 feet tall and they weigh 200 pounds exactly. Right? They have the same exact BMI if you use that measurement. Ironically, putting them both in the category of being overweight based solely on BMI. But the man on the right is obviously more fit and not overweight.
Sure.
There is better muscle tone and a leaner appearance. And I think if you were to delve deeper, you will find that he's very likely generally healthier and more active as well. So, if we were to illustrate this difference, it might look something like this.
So what exactly is happening here?
Well, Kevin, I think we get the point, right? I mean, if you look at it, it's important.
Yeah. So one's losing fat and keeping muscle. So yeah, it's important then, I think we can understand from this, to support and maintain the lean muscle while we're losing the fat. But why is that?
Yeah, because the lean muscle is the body's metabolic engine. It drives the body in terms of energy. It largely determines the amount of energy we burn every day. This is what we call our resting metabolic rate. So the more lean muscle you have, the greater your ability to burn those unwanted calories. And as we can see from this chart, as lean muscle goes up or increases in your body, the metabolic burn is much more effective and efficient. So ideally, what we want is to better support lean muscle and lower the fat percentages.
All this talk about muscle makes me a little worried I might get bulky. I mean, Kevin looks great, but I don't want to have muscles like Kevin.
Yeah, he does look bulky, doesn't he? Yeah.
A little.
But you don't, Elizabeth. Not to worry.
We have something right here. I think that we're
There was surprise.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, that's
okay.
disgusting. And then that's kind of weird too.
This is roughly 5 pounds of fat, I believe.
Yes.
Kevin?
Yep.
This is gross.
That is kind of gross.
Yeah.
That's not real fat, by the way, but that's what it looks like.
I mean,
That was taken from the stomach.
that's
Those M&Ms I saw you eating, Joe.
Okay, so let's compare.
This is really good steak.
We're grilling after.
What do you think? This looks
But as big as that steak is,
Yeah.
way smaller than this.
Absolutely. And this is the metabolic engine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what burns your calories. this stuff you don't need. This stuff is gross. Right. Okay, sorry.
Real estate.
We'll cover this one up.
That's the bad one. We'll cover that one up.
Because as we noted a moment ago, muscle, while it weighs more, takes up far less space than fat and helps you to be more toned, have an attractive shape and appearance.
Yeah, it's that shape. So, Joe, what you're saying is that people make a mistake. They mistake overall weight loss with success. But we really should be looking at overall body composition instead.
Yeah. We often see people being successful at losing overall weight in the short term, using these fat diets, but when you look more closely, that fat diet is an unhealthy type of weight loss. Because in fact, muscle loss often accounts for a large percentage of the weight loss in some of these unhealthy diet programs. And that's not good. Because when metabolically active muscle is being lost, the body's metabolism slows down, and that makes it even harder to continue losing weight. Even worse, it can lead you to this so-called yo-yo dieting, when people actually gain back even more fat once they stop a diet program, and have even more trouble getting it off the next time around.
Makes sense?
Yeah, this muscle loss has been widely noted in many peer-reviewed scientific journals. In fact, these are just some of the articles that have been published in these peer-reviewed journals.
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear that all weight loss is definitely not created equal. We need to seriously consider our body composition in any kind of body shaping and weight management program to really achieve healthy lifestyle changes and long-term success.
All right, so Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about the second myth? Is it true that our body composition is out of our control? Simply put, the genes we inherit from our parents predetermine our body weight and shape.
Not true, absolutely not true, Elizabeth. Science is clear on this point, and that is, we are not predestined to be overweight.
Wait a minute, Joe. I've known a lot of people where being overweight seems to run in the family. And I've also noticed that people tend to carry their weight similarly to their parent. For example, my mom, she's not big at all, but she tends to carry her weight in her midsection. So are you saying that me and my sisters can break that cycle?
Absolutely. That cycle can be broken quite effectively. Because although our genes are important in determining everything about us, the expression, the behavior of our genes provides an important link to our body composition. We find that when the expression of certain genes are somewhat out of sync, if you will, the body becomes less efficient at regulating its healthy weight. This can perhaps be best illustrated by a study on identical twins that was conducted in 2008. By the way, identical twins are like, they're the same, they're born at the same time. So, although identical twins share the same genetic makeup, one twin in each pair was obese and the other was lean. When the researchers then measured gene expression in the fat tissue, they saw significant differences. A number of those genes related specifically to fat metabolism showed significant differences in gene expression between the obese twin and the lean twin. Simply put, in other words, when researchers looked deeper into the genetic expression of the fat tissue, they found that the gene behavior has profound effect on weight.
Fascinating. So exactly the same genes, but substantially gene expression.
That's right, Elizabeth, because what we learned from this particular study and many other studies is the importance of studying gene expression when looking at weight management. And science shows us that variations in this gene expression make a huge difference in our fat metabolism and in how our lean muscle and brain signaling, for that matter, influence weight management. For example, the brain impacts our appetite control, regulates our eating behavior, and the ability to feel satisfied. And as I mentioned, our lean muscle is in fact our metabolic engine.
All right, Joe. We've learned that changes in gene expression are associated with weight management and body shaping. How can we actually influence gene expression? Can we really do anything about this?
We can. It's magical because we can do this with certain ingredients. You can actually see in this particular preclinical study some heat maps. The heat map on the left shows a healthy diet gene expression profile. The second column shows the gene expression profile that has gotten out of balance with an unrestricted high-fat diet. Interestingly though, in this study, when a particular ingredient was added to the unrestricted high-fat diet, that ingredient prevented weight gain in the test group. But even more impressive, the group fed a high-fat diet with the ingredient gained less weight, less fat, and has even smaller fat cells. Importantly, these functional benefits that I've just described were associated with positive changes in gene expression similar to those seen in the lean control. This offers us the proof of principle that natural ingredients can not only positively influence weight management and body shape, but also gene expression.
That is really powerful, Joe. So, looking at that, some might say that this one ingredient could be the secret we're looking for.
Wait, Kevin. You can't quickly jump. This is science after all, and not myths, okay? So not so fast. You're falling into the trap of our third myth, and that is a magic bullet for weight management and body shaping. The truth of the matter is, there is no magic bullet.
Sad but true. Weight management is not a simple equation. If it were, everyone in the world would be at their ideal weight and body shape. Unfortunately, we know that's not the case.
Not true.
Exactly. Weight management is an incredibly complex issue. It involves a plethora of tissues throughout the body. That's a lot, Kevin.
Thanks, that's unclear.
In addition, environmental factors such as diet, stress, lifestyle, and other factors play very important roles and all impact our genetic expression and ultimately our bodies. In short, life isn't like a control experiment. There are uncontrolled factors that can affect the process in ways that can't always be fully anticipated.
Okay, so I get it. Life comes at all of us hard and fast. So, what can we do to try to deal with the factors that contribute to our ability or our inability to manage our weight?
Great question. Because at NUSKIN, the first step in our research is to identify and understand these ultimate sources of whatever problem we're trying to resolve. Okay? So, it was in 2009 when we took this innovative approach to understanding the ultimate sources of aging with our first age-long personal care product system. What we did at that time was not just an evolution in anti-aging science, we actually created a revolution. This revolutionary strategy is built on leveraging leading-edge science to further understand our ultimate sources of aging and drive product innovation. This diagram illustrates this point very well and should be familiar to anyone who has been involved with NUSKIN over the past few years. We applied this similar innovative approach to the challenging area of weight management and body shaping.
And that's where your scientific team comes in, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, because as we see, our team now has the tools and resources to really make a difference in understanding these sources of the problems we face with aging and now with weight management.
So Joe, I get to spend a lot of time with your research and development team in my role at NUSKIN. And I can definitely say that you have assembled an impressive group with a broad range of experience and expertise. So, can you tell our audience a little bit more about your team?
Sure, absolutely. Because here, you can see, well, at the NUSKIN scientific team combines experts from diverse scientific fields. These include nutrition, molecular biology, genetics, biochemistry, and physiology, for example. Many of them have been with NUSKIN for a while now, and they have helped us to develop a wealth of knowledge related to personal care and nutrition. And in addition to all these amazing internal scientists, we work with some of the best and brightest minds outside of NUSKIN to enhance our understanding and further expand our ability to develop new products.
And that's where our friends at LifeGen come in, right?
Exactly, because through our knowledge of scientific experts around the world, we were introduced to the work of Drs. Richard Weindrich and Dr. Thomas Prowler. We reached out to them and began a very productive scientific relationship that helped us to develop some truly groundbreaking insights. The founding scientists of LifeGen are pioneers in gene expression science, a very important component of any discussion that we are going to have on healthy weight management and body shaping. And as anyone who's familiar with our scientific journey knows, that subsequently we acquired LifeGen in 2011. We now own the proprietary technologies based on their more than 30 years of research, which I believe is pretty key to our current and future research and development efforts.
I actually understand that the LifeGen scientists are here.
Yes, I think they are. They're somewhere here. Maybe we can... Please stand up.
So Joe, that really gives NUSKIN a huge scientific and competitive advantage. Now, we've talked about the three common myths of weight management and body shaping, and you've shown us how science debunks them. So what's next?
Well, so far we talked about the foundational science that feeds our understanding of weight management. So the question actually now becomes, how do we take all this knowledge and use it to create a more effective approach to weight management and body shaping?
Let's be honest, that's the question that's on everybody's mind.
I know. So, well, science doesn't just help us dispel myths. More importantly to me, it helps us find answers to questions like this. Let me give you another illustration of how our gene expression science and ingredient science work together to help our product innovation process provide real solutions.
Okay, so what are we looking at here exactly, Joe?
Well, that's a funnel. And through our innovative approach, we begin by filtering through a library of potential ingredients, filtering down to those that demonstrate a positive influence on gene expression. We then develop these ingredients into an optimal blend, a mixture that is most beneficial. And then we take these blends and they become the final products.
So it's really about identifying the right combination of ingredients, not just one single ingredient.
Yes. And now let me give you another example of a preclinical study we conducted with our LifeGen scientists. The heat map on the left shows the gene expression with respect to fat metabolism and fat storage of a lean control. And then the second column shows the heat map of an overweight test group. Finally, the third heat map panel shows the gene expression profile of an overweight test group after consuming an ingredient blend for 90 days. You can see the gene expression profile has been influenced to the degree that it looks very similar to the profile of the lean test group.
Okay, so once again, these are the exact same genes being expressed differently. So what that tells me is it's not just about your genes, it's about your gene expression like we've talked about, meaning we're not predestined to be a certain body shape, like Elizabeth said.
It's correct. It's never about you, Kevin. It's always about your gene expression. This is how we are combining scientific discovery and ingredient expertise into unique solutions that demonstrate a difference.
And this really is the difference demonstrated in action, clearly.
Indeed, Kevin. Here's another example. Now, in this independent clinical study, one of the ingredients showed tremendous results. Within 14 days, the study participants had decreased in body weight. And then by the end of 8 weeks, subjects had lost significantly more body weight and also experienced decreases in thigh measurements and reported their snacking had decreased by more than half.
Wow.
So not only does this validate our internal studies, it shows it produces meaningful results for someone like me.
Yep. Based on many studies like this with single ingredients, we then progress or develop to our own internal clinical study on a proprietary blend of ingredients. The study, this clinical study of ours, lasted for 90 days and included 66 participants. And I can tell you that the results were very positive. So positive that we presented these findings, these unique and differentiated findings, at the Experimental Biology Conference in Boston in April. That's a conference that many scientists attend.
Okay, so give us some details.
All right, let's do this. At the end of the 90-day study, we saw weight loss with a significant decrease in body fat and a support of lean muscle, with a tendency towards maintaining lean muscle mass, which, as we talked about earlier, is playing a very important role in our metabolism. And we also saw significant decreases in measurements in typically troublesome areas for weight gain, such as the waist, the hips, the arms, and even the ankles. What's more, participants also reported low levels of hunger, positive changes in body silhouette, and corresponding improvements in their way the clothes fit.
Impressive results, Joe, like always.
Certainly, we are really proud of this clinical study, but that's not all. We actually took blood from these participants to see if there were any gene expression changes occurring during the study. As you can see from this particular slide, we saw statistically meaningful changes in gene expression, particularly related to appetite, hunger, and satiety. We observed levels of gene expression changes similar to a lean comparison group after 90 days on this program.
You never cease to amaze me, Joe. You and your scientific team are making significant breakthroughs, which is good news for all of us at Nu Skin.
Yeah, and just as important, your science is dispelling all these myths about our body shape. We've learned that all weight loss is not created equal, that we are not predestined to be overweight. And finally, I learned that there is no single magic bullet that can address the problem. So, in fact, the science has given us all the answers we need, I think, to take control and reach our weight management and body shaping goals. I think now we're ready to take the next step.
Thank you, Dr. Chang, for spending a few minutes with us today. Nu Skin is very fortunate to have you leading our innovative research and development efforts.
Okay, so coming up next, we'll take a look at how Nu Skin is distilling these scientific principles into the innovative TR90 weight management and body shaping system. And we'll look at some important numbers, those transformation numbers, so don't go away.